Tremendous cute, tremendous cute, tremendous cute.
Who's your favorite pitmaster's favorite pitmaster?
Red! Yeah!
Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy here, Wade Morris, owner of Pitmaster Tremendous Q. We are back for this Labor Day spread to make all your friends jealous. Alright, check this out. We got frog leg, I got a lobster tail, and we got spare ribs too. We're going to be cooking all three proteins today on the offset charbroil smoker. We're going to be using a little bit of oak wood, a little bit of cherry wood on the spare ribs so we can get that nice cherry accent. It's a really sweet, and it pairs perfectly, I think, with spare ribs, pork in general, as a matter of fact. So stick around. With that, we're going to actually head over, get started on our spare ribs. All right, let's go.
Alright, so as you guys can see, we are going to be covering a lot in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. With the spare ribs, we're going to go ahead and remove the membrane. This is so that our rub can penetrate the meat. We definitely don't want our meat cooking with that membrane on, otherwise we'll be chewing a piece of shoe leather. So with both of our membranes taken off, let's go ahead and get our rub put on. The rub we're using is just a real simple house rub I used on a previous recipe. It's got some brown sugar, cumin, salt, pepper, a little bit paprika, things like that. So really, we're just going to put this on. We're not using any mustard or anything extra. We're just going to throw it on there, let it sit for a little while so that that rub can start to penetrate the meat, and then we'll start working on the frog legs next. Now, I know this is probably why a lot of you guys clicked on this video, these frog legs here in Florida. This is my first time smoking these things, but I got a pretty basic recipe, something that is not too extravagant, and we're just gonna go ahead and get these things taken out of the bag. We're gonna get them defrosted. Real quick, I noticed that some of the plastic was sticking to these things, so I went over to the faucet and just showing you guys this is a real easy way to get the plastic taken off if it's going to be sticking to the frog legs. So we're going to let these things defrost and then bring them back so that we can get them rubbed down on the actual cutting board. Okay, so real quick, why I decided to do frog legs? Well, really no other reason than it's Labor Day. My butcher, Apollo Meats in Apollo Beach, is awesome. He's got all these crazy things like alligator, bison, buffalo, deer, even frog legs. So because it was Labor Day weekend, I decided to do something a little bit different, pull these bad boys out and get them smoked up. So let's go ahead and rub them down. But first,
Okay, real quick. So have you guys ever wondered if you put salt on frog legs, if they hot? Well, I do. I've heard it before, so I want to check it out. Let's see what they do.
okay, so I'm going to be trying two different types of salts. I got iodized salt and I got sea salt. So first, let's try the sea salt, see what happens. As you can see on this episode of Mythbusters, so far we are not off to a good start. So let's try the iodized salt next. And I'm really anxious, so let's go ahead and speed this video up. Man, still nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Haha, I knew the rumor was true. Thank you, barbecue Mythbusters.
I was disappointed. Were you? Alright, so frog legs, or at least these frog legs, I don't know, they might be special. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Alright, so we sped up a little bit. As you can see, we got our frog legs rubbed down with a little bit of sea salt, white pepper, cayenne, onion powder, and garlic powder. Now I'm going through and I'm wrapping the bacon, or I'm wrapping the frog legs in a little bit of bacon. I got regular bacon for this. I did not get it pre-smoked, no apple, no maple, or anything like that. I just got regular, non-thick, so original style bacon because I didn't want, one, the bacon to overpower the flavor of the frog, even though there is no such thing as too much bacon. And then two, I also wanted the natural flavors of the smoke to bind to the bacon as during the regular cooking process. So we're going through wrapping the bacon up, or we're wrapping the frog legs up. Man, I can't get that right. We're wrapping the frog legs up in the bacon, and then we're going to come back with a little bit of honey and drizzle it all over these things once we get them wrapped up. And a real quick trick, since we're talking about the honey, if your honey is too solid and you can't get it to drip real well, go ahead and throw it in the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you'll see what you have here. You got liquefied honey. So it's a lot more liquidy and easier to work with. So we'll go ahead and drizzle this over our frog legs with our bacon wrapped around, and then we'll move on to our lobster tail next. And this thing is really going to be a delight. Trust me. Okay, so before we get this thing prepped, I want to give you guys a little bit of perspective. I got the tape measure out. On top of the 1.5 pounds that this thing weighed, it is 10.5 inches long, man. So this is really going to be a feast, all right? So real quick, to get your lobster tail prepped, you're going to put the fins away from you, and you're going to take your knife and slit it right down the back. You want to cut this thing all the way through. Then, after you're done cutting down the back, you're going to spread the tail apart, being sure not to crack it all the way open. Remove any of the excess shells that you have as you're doing this throughout the entire process, but you're going to pull the shell apart, and you're going to slide your fingers in underneath the shell between the meat, again pulling out any shells that you might have in the process, and you're going to separate the meat from the shell. I am speeding up this video as I'm going through this process, but be sure you take your time. This is not necessarily a delicate process, but you definitely don't want to rush your way through it. So as you can see, I got the meat completely separated from the shells on the side. Now I'm turning it up so you can get a good angle of it, but I'm pulling the lobster from the underbelly, the belly of the tail, the thin layer of skin. If you were to pick it up and face it towards you, you literally just go in, grab it, and pull it right up. There's no real trick to that particular part of it. So now that I got it up, I'm just going to set the shell down and then lay the meat down right on top of it, because this is how it's going to go on our grill. And one more quick note, make sure you don't pull the meat completely away from the shell. The shell is what's going to protect it when you have it on the grill, so make sure you leave the meat connected to the shell. Now, with our probe and our spares, let's head to the pit.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to show you guys the woods it's going to be using today. I'm using oak and cherry wood. Now, the cherry I'm only going to be using on the spare ribs, but as you can see, I wanted to show you guys the color of these things, man. This cherry wood it's a nice mahogany color. Then you got that compared to the oak that I use. The oak, you can see the kind of tan. Put these things together side by side, you can see the the mahogany or the reddish tint of the cherry wood versus the white of the oak. So I really do like this cherry wood. I got a supplier. He drops it off in huge cords. You can check out my Instagram. I'll probably have a picture of the cord of wood that I get delivered. So with that, let's go ahead and get these things thrown on the offset so we can get them burning, get that nice smoke going, and get our ribs thrown on. All right, back to the video.
All right, so moving right along, our smoker is ready to go. We are hovering at right around 250, 275 degrees. I got my oak on there, and I got my cherry wood on there for my spare ribs. So our spare ribs are going on the far end. We're going to be opposite the firebox. We don't want any creosote. We don't want any flare-ups affecting our meat. Next, we're going to be putting on the frog legs. So the frog legs, again, we're putting these things on the top shelf, and again, we're going to be separating them from the firebox. So the opposite side, same concept, avoiding that creosote and avoiding those flare-ups. We don't want anything really affecting our meat. And let's get a close-up, since these things are really kind of the star of this video. And last but not least, we got our lobster tail. So what's really cool in these offset smokers is that the firebox can double as a grill. So I just threw the grates right over my wood, and I threw my lobster tail right on top of those grates. I don't have it immediately over the fire. I have it off to the side just a little bit, again, so it doesn't burn. But like I said previously, that's what that shell is for. It's really going to protect this meat during the cooking process. And moving right along, we are done. Our ribs have been cooking for about 4.5 hours. So let's go ahead and get them pulled off and see what they look like. And a quick warning for all those who are hungry: if you are really, really hungry, now is the time to turn away. So I got a bone cut out, and I want to show you guys what these things ended up looking like. The tenderness was there, the moisture was there, the color was there. I mean, it took every morsel of muscle in my body, not to just take the entire rack. straight to the head. I mean, these things were really, really juicy. You could see the juice. I think I got about 4 or 5 drops out of there, and that's not even me doing anything special. So ribs turned out really well. Next up, we got the frog legs, wrapped in bacon, drizzled with honey. So just picking one of these things up real quick. You can see there is not a ton of meat on these things, but they cooked really well. They did not get burnt. The moisture was there. The bacon crisped up, and it just paired really well with these frogs. These were really good too. Then, rounding out our little show, our little trio, we have the extra large, the double XL lobster tail. So because I actually had this thing off to the side a little bit, you can see the outer part of the skin got smoked. So I'm taking my knife and I am cutting down so I can separate the meat. As I turn it around, you guys will be able to see the meat on this thing was perfect. It looked and tasted really, really well. So let me just take the camera, get a close-up of this lobster tail so you guys can see it. You see how the shell kind of brightened up a little bit. That helped me to let me know when this thing was done. So this was our double XL lobster tail. I take that back. This was the Pitmasters double XL lobster tail. Yum.
All right, hey, so what'd you guys think? All right, Labor Day, always want to do something a little bit different on the holidays. I mean, that's what they're for. You're usually with family and friends, so you can either show off a little bit or it's a great time to just do something a little bit different. So the frog legs, they turned out pretty good. I actually think I hit them with a little bit too much smoke, but all's well that ends well. It's barbecue. It's not science. It's definitely an art, but there's a little bit of mix both in there. So the spare ribs, you can see the color on those things. I actually did them pretty wet this time around, but they turned out excellent. The juice was just dripping. The moisture was there. The color was there. The smoke was there. You could taste the accent of the cherry wood. It was awesome. And then finally, that lobster tail. I don't even know what to say. I had that thing all to myself. It was phenomenal. I sprinkled a little bit of butter on there, sprinkled a little bit of lemon juice on there, and I just went to town. So all in all, I think it was a really, really, really good cook. I was really happy with everything, and I would definitely cook everything again. Maybe try something a little bit different, just on a regular 22.5-inch kettle grill. Maybe I'll grill off the frog legs instead of smoking them next time. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Go ahead, click the thumbs up video. Subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll see you guys on the next one here in the Tremendous Q channel. All right, later.